What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Beezy Money, episode 3. And I have a very familiar face as a guest tonight. His name's Curtis Razor Blaydes. He's the number 4 ranked heavyweight on the planet in the entire world. Curtis, the last time we saw you, first of all, thanks for joining. The last time we saw you was September 25th, coming off of a very impressive win against Jairzinho Rosenstrike. What you been up to and how you been? We'll start there.
Um, I just been in the gym. Haven't really been doing a whole lot of. I've been in the state. I really haven't been able to plan anything because I don't know when my next fight is going to be. So I'm just here, staying ready.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of fights that, could be made because you are at the top and there's, either you're either going to defend your spot or you're going to get a step up in competition. You've been in the news today, actually. You've been posting some Instagram comments or some pictures about Cyril Gahn. Before I ask you about Cyril Gahn and a potential fight with him, let's go to the Francis Ngannou fight and Cyril Gahn fight. What impressed you or what didn't impress you in that fight? What did you think of that fight? Because you were in the building that night, right?
Yeah. In Ghana, I was impressed by the conditioning. At it, that's gotten better. Obviously the grappling. He learned how to do a bit of grappling, which was impressive because
Yeah.
usually, especially heavyweights that have the power he has, they don't really invest the time into grappling because they're
One
thinking
shot. Yeah.
I don't need to grapple. Yeah, so that was impressive that he worked on his grappling and just his overall cage. He like he realized he was injured. He knew he didn't have the power in his need to do all those explosive, aggressive offensive attacks. So he slowed down. He gave up the first 2 rounds. He was
Yep.
smart. That was a veteran move. He knew eventually. I didn't know if this was a part of his original game plan, or if that's just something that his coaches pointed out and was like, this is a weakness. But he went to the grappling and he was able to get a few takedowns, got a sweep. So just overall, I was very impressed by Ngannou's grappling, IQ, and conditioning. That was impressive.
Yeah. I mean, and then you posted today. You said, Cyril Gahn, this matchup makes sense, and it does make a lot of sense at heavyweight division. You're at the top. Derek Lewis is booked against Tai Tuivasa, and then you've got Francis, who is potentially injured for 9 months. If you had to, and I'm going to ask you, Curtis, if you could take your pick of the three names up there, there's John Jones, there's Stipe Miocic, and there's Cyril Gahn. If you had to pick one, if they gave you the option, who would you want to fight the most?
I mean, they're all pretty much. I don't mean they're all the same in terms of like name value, but
Mm-hmm.
honestly, any of those guys, I beat any of those guys impressively, I get a title shot. If I'm able to beat up Gon, title shot. Beat up John Jones, title shot. Beat up Stipe, title shot. So I I know a lot of guys say this, but I mean it. I have no preference. Any one of those guys, as long as they're one of those guys, because I don't want a guy below me because that doesn't give me a title shot. So as long as my opponent's ranked ranked above me, that's all I that's all that matters to me.
One sec there, Curtis. I think I'm losing you a little bit.
Oh, uh,
You hear me all right?
yeah, yeah. I hear you. I see you.
Oh, there we go. Zap back into
Oh,
reality. So you said you'd fight all three of them, Stipe,
yeah.
Gahn, and Gahn's probably the.
Oh, I lost you. Shoot.
Can you hear me all right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, kicked me out for a second. I'm at a radio station. You would think they'd have like great Wi-Fi and stuff. You know what I mean? Because they got to be on
Yeah.
the air all day. So we were talking about Cyril Gahn and Francis Ngannou or Stipe and John Jones. I know you don't like to talk about, maybe these guys' game plans, but who do you think is the best out of the three of them? Jones, Stipe, Gahn.
For the division, I think is Stipe. He's already proven he's a heavyweight. He can handle heavyweight punches. He's taken punches from Ngannou. Um, I know that uh, John Jones, he has all the credentials and the records, but that's all at light heavyweight. If we're talking about heavyweight, I think the best heavyweight is Stipe.
Okay, I like that answer a lot. A lot of respect for Stipe up there. And so we will get to the guy that you called out. You basically said Cyril Gahn, this fight makes sense. To the UFC fans, you posed the question, this is makes sense, right? So how excited does a potential matchup with him specifically get you? Cyril Gahn, 10-1, now very young. I don't know, he may not be that young, but very young
No,
in the
I
game.
think he's older than me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
30.
yeah. I mean, it's exciting always when you go against a high level opponent because it brings the best out of you. I know I'll have to be on my P's and Q's and a win over a guy like that. It just like I said, it it gives me an instant pathway into the titles. So that's what makes it exciting. I don't get excited to fight per se because I don't enjoy fighting. I mean this is all about the money, and I know if I beat Gon, it equals more money.
That's true. And with Francis Ngannou being out 9 months and he's got that knee he's got to take care of, what do you think the UFC does with the belt?
They're probably gonna do an interim, most
Think
likely.
so?
Yeah. I mean they did it before. They did it. They made it. They just made it interim. They just unified it. So I guess they'll do it again. I don't know. It's a weird situation when you have the champion of the division with a major injury like that. And he also has aspirations of doing the boxing. So like I don't know what's going on with all that.
Well, I mean, you said you like the money, Curtis. You just said it. Would we ever see you in some sort of boxing ring, or are you MMA to the top,
Oh,
man? No.
well, I would do boxing if, but I'm not the striker. So the strikers usually get those opportunities. It's not usually the wrestler that get those boxing opportunities, which I get because a lot of the boxing fans that do end up watching MMA, they like striking. They don't want to watch a grappler. So I would do it, but I don't know if I get any of those opportunities. Maybe if I have the belt, that always helps. But as of right now, I doubt I get any of those offers.
Well, we got like new avenues now with Triller Triad combat fighting in a triangle ring, and then all these new leagues kind of coming up. And Curtis, you showed your striking against Junior Dos Santos, so I mean, you
No,
got
no,
some hands, man. You know?
I got hands. I know I got hands. I believe I got hands. But in order for that fight to happen, the casual fans have to be
Yeah, yeah.
hyped up, which means that they have to believe I have hands. And based off of social media, a lot of fans don't believe I have hands. So it is what it is.
Okay. Well, hey, man, you've said it before. You fight your fight, and that you're trying to win in there. So the
No.
real fan doesn't blame you, Curtis. But I understand that you get the game and you understand the aspect of social media and how fans kind of view the sport. So that makes a lot of sense. We saw, like I said in the beginning, you had two fights in 2021, one against Derek Lewis, one against Jairzinho Rosenstrike, and you proved that you can beat, coming back off the Derek Lewis loss, you proved that you can beat an elite striker and look very impressive doing it. How important was that win against Jairzinho to end off kind of 2021, your 2021 campaign?
I think it was important just because I never had a losing streak and I didn't want to begin one now. So you don't want to, because that messes with your head. You start losing back to back to back to back. You're like, do I still have it? Da 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 da. Da. So it was just important for my mental.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're at Elevation Fight Team. Is that correct?
Yeah. Hmm.
You got some guys like Neil Magny. You posted a story with Abdul Razak Al Hassan. He's a really good fighter. Like, how is the training camp? Do you live where that's in Colorado, I believe,
Yeah. In Denver. Yeah, yeah.
full time?
I moved here. I moved here about 5.5 years ago from
Okay,
Chicago. Yeah.
very nice. And then, so do you plan on ever going back to Chicago? Is this your home for the foreseeable future, Curtis Blaydes? Are you a Colorado man?
Yeah, I mean, this will for sure be home until I retire, because this is where all my coaches are, and I don't expect them to leave if I leave. But I could maybe see myself. I wouldn't go back home to Chicago unless it drastically uh, changed. Because right now, just between the cost of living, gas, taxes, and then the violence is just. I'd rather be out here, or if I were to move, maybe out to Washington, the state, not the not the capital.
Okay. Any particular reason for the Washington?
I've just always liked it out there. I went out there once, and I like the weather. I like the people. I get along with hipsters. I'm not a hipster, but a lot of my buddies are hipsters, and I get along with them, and
Yeah.
I like the vibes.
Easy going, man.
Yeah.
And no plans to come out to Kansas City and train with some heavyweights here. This is my pitch to you.
Do you guys have any heavyweights? I haven't heard of any.
We
I mean, if
got
you do,
we got a 6-0 guy named Niall Bartling, and he's got some upcoming news. I can't share it yet, but and then we got Bogdanov Gastunovic, who is from Russia, and he's a sambo champion. And then I mean Carl Robertson, he's a middleweight.
yeah.
Guy's
Hmm.
massive, so I think maybe there's like two for you or something.
The thing is, I do like to link up with other guys and train with other guys. The only issue is I hate to leave the elevation here. That's why I
Mm,
moved there, was the elevation,
good
because
point.
we're all doing the same workouts. Like the guys that are working out in New York or in Miami or in LA, we're doing the same things here, just higher elevation.
You think that helps you in a 5 round fight? I know you're in the heavyweight division and it's crazy, but how much do you
Mhm.
think that helps you? I guess is a better question.
I think it's a major, major, major factor. Like just you do a 5 mile hike here, you do a 5 mile hike in Illinois. The difference is outstanding. Like that's that's the main reason I moved here. Like I said, we're all doing the same workouts. It's just here is just a little harder. That way, when I go to Vegas and the elevation there is like 1,800, as opposed to here it's like 5,800. So 5 rounds here versus 5 rounds there, it's a lot easier in Vegas.
Smart sense. Mention your fight IQ, Curtis Blades. You're a smart man. I'm not doing any 5 mile hikes anytime soon. Anywhere in Illinois or Vegas, or Colorado, which I've never been, by the way. I need to go out there. But Curtis, you fought 2 times last year. I think 2 times the year before, and 2 times, maybe 3 times in 2018. How active are you looking to get this year? How much are you trying to get out there?
I mean, the higher you are in the rankings, the less often you get to fight.
Yeah, yeah,
So
obviously.
I'll
For
probably
you.
fight once or twice. It just depends on who's available. You know?
And it's hard to get fights at the top of the your division right now. There's not a lot
Yeah.
being made, and um, there's those three big names out there, and it just seems like there hasn't been a announcement with Stipe or an announcement with Jones. Nobody really knows what's going on. We know Derek's booked. You kind of pushed the needle tonight and today and said, "Look, Cyril Gane, if no one's gonna fight, let's fight each other." Is that how you feel?
Yeah. I mean, we we kind of have to. There isn't, like you just said. I don't have any matchups. He doesn't have any because he beat Folk off last year, Eric Lewis last year, and Jorginho last year. So he's not going to get any of those guys this year. I'm the only one available.
If that fight comes to fruition, and I think it will. I think that fight
Yeah.
is going to happen, and I mean, have you heard
Yeah,
anything from management team or anything like that as far as Cyril
N-
Gahn? I know he just fought, but he said after the fight, "I want to get back in there, and I'm young, and I want to come back and prove myself." So, I mean, anything on your
yeah.
end?
I mean, I haven't heard anything like concrete, but I just being in the sport for as long as I have, and being in the UFC and doing like all the predicting all that stuff in my head. This is the only viable option. Like they're not going to give him Ngannou again. They're not going to give him Derek Lewis again. I guess maybe he could get Derek Lewis, and I guess if he got Derek Lewis, and I would get the winner of Volkov and Aspinall. But I think me versus Gane is, like I said in the post, it's the most logical matchup. It makes the most sense.
And I love that matchup too. It really gets me excited as a UFC fan. Um, Curtis, what do you think? You talked about a little bit earlier. What do you think the general consensus is of UFC fans? How do you think that you are viewed by them, essentially?
I think it's like maybe 60-40, 60% respect my game, and they appreciate like how hard it is to be a heavyweight. They use a lot of wrestling, and then you got the other 40%. You know, the casuals, the boxing fans who watch MMA, but they just want to see blood and knockouts. They don't like me that much. I mean, and I get it. If you're watching MMA just to see just pure pure striking, I'm probably not the guy. This is who you want to watch if you just want to see striking. But we're not the same. It's like, and that's the beauty of MMA. Like it's mixed martial arts. Like if you don't enjoy grappling, there's a bunch of other guys that don't use grappling at all. And I tell guys all the time, there's a whole sport, there's a whole promotion called Glory. That's all they do is strike. So if you
Yep.
want to see all the spinning attacks and all the fancy stuff, Glory is right there.
Yeah, watch some kickboxing, man. But no,
Yeah,
I think yeah, a lot of fans do respect you and appreciate your game and uh, highly tout you as one of the best heavyweights in the world. But we did see Kevin Holland couple weeks ago, he called out a hater and he said, come get some. Any plans for you? Anyone in your DMs that you're like, hey man, come out
I
to Elevation. Let me show you what's up.
I gave up on that. I've actually had that same incident after almost
Oh,
all of my fights. Like whenever I beat Mark Hunt, I got a lot of hate for that. I beat Alistair, I got a lot of hate for that. I beat Junior, I got a lot of hate for that. And up until the Junior fight, I would respond. I would like do the verbal sparring online. But then I realized these guys are all like they don't want to fight. They just want to talk. They just want to be able to be like, oh, look at this. I was talking to Curtis Blaze. I got him real angry and stuff. I just block him now. I don't. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I don't have the patience to argue with an 18-year-old who lives at home with his mom. I don't have the time or the patience.
yeah, that's good. Now that you were, but no, you didn't bring anyone to the gym and say,
I,
let's do
I
it.
asked. I gave the address. I used to be like, here's the address, and dudes wouldn't pull up. There was even a dude who lived in Nebraska, big guy, he was like 6'6", gave me all his credentials. He was a few years younger than me, and I was like, hey, I'll drive up to Nebraska because it's only a state away, and he never responded. So I after that one, I gave up. I was like, these guys don't want to do that because they understand. Like I am a professional. Even if you don't like me, you ain't gotta like me, but that don't mean you're delusional. You know you're not going to beat me up. So
No. So I mean, is that something that has motivated you in the past, or are you on to you don't need that as motivation? You just need your family and money as motivation. Is that what's always motivated you?
yeah, it never motivated me because I I know how the game is, like how you get famous. You gotta say crazy things like Derek Lewis. You gotta do the antics and like I don't have it in me. It's just not me. I'm not into all the antics. So I got into this for the money and just the opportunity to be an athlete again. Because I wrestled in high school and collegiately, and that's what got me back into MMA. That's what initially got me into MMA was I missed just being an athlete. I missed being at the gym, having a reason to sweat, the locker room, the jokes, all that stuff. I miss that. So I have that now, and now I have money also. So yeah, I don't really care about if fans hate me or love me. I appreciate the love, but do I need it? No. I mean, I'll be okay.
Yeah. And for great answer, by the way. But if for some reason, Curtis, the UFC comes to you and says, "Hey, we want you to defend your spot at number 4. We don't want to give you Stipe, John, or Cyril for whatever reason," and they say, you get the winner of his name,
Volkanovski,
no,
Volkov,
Volkov.
Volkov.
Yeah, it was like Alex Volkanov. They have the same name. Jeez. Volkov, you already beat him, by the way. You already beat Volkov. And then Tom Aspinall's kind of like a young guy coming up in the sport. What if they come to you and say, defend your spot against the winner of this fight? How was your reaction to that? What would be your reaction?
I would take Aspinall because he's young. He's a new name, and it's a payday. But not Volkov because how does that help me? It doesn't help me at all. At least if I beat Aspinall, it shows that I can beat another good striker, another young heavyweight that they've been giving a little bit of hype to. That helps me. Volkov doesn't really help me. Honestly, I think if Volkov won and Derek Lewis won, I think Volkov would want a rematch with Derek Lewis because in my mind he beat Derek Lewis.
Yeah, it would be very, very beat him for 3 rounds, damn near,
Yeah.
until and then
So
and then it happened. And Derek Lewis, you've mentioned before that Derek Lewis has the most power out of anyone you've ever fought, and you think he has more power than Francis Ngannou?
I mean, I'm just going by the facts. I've been I've been wobbled by Hunt, wobbled by Alistair, wobbled by Francis. Eric Lewis, I woke up in an ambulance. So there's a difference between being wobbled and being out. And it's not like I'm trying to talk smack about anybody. It's just
Yeah.
it's facts. I woke up in the ambulance.
And
That's a hit. It's a big hit.
you'd be a better guy to ask that question, I think, than anybody, is because you've been in the ring with Francis Ngannou twice. So, I mean, I take what you say, seriously when it comes to that. Derek Lewis is a tough guy. Is that a fight you would like to have back down the line, maybe?
He's not gonna be around that long. He's already retired in the past. He's already said he doesn't want to do 5 round fights. He doesn't want the belt. He wants money, and that's fine. It's his career, but I don't like. Yeah, they offer me the rematch. Hell yeah, but he's like me. Like when you ask me about Volkov, I'm like, why would I do that? Why would
Yeah.
he want to fight me again? Because a lot of people probably forgot, but that first round, I was destroying him. Like, yeah, he knocked me out, but that first round, I was destroying him. So I don't think he wants to do that again.
Yeah, you're right. And now I know you're a Bears fan. You said you're from Chicago, Curtis.
Yeah.
Year one, Justin Fields. What are your thoughts on this year?
Uh, it was rough. It's hard to judge because our weapons not the best. We don't really have a run game is inconsistent. That's partly because O line is young and not the best. Also, like I do see potential for growth. We did draft the two young tackles last year, but they were both meh. I hope they get better in the offseason, get in the film room, the weight room, all that. But that's what it makes it hard to properly assess Fields because of all these other things that were
Yeah.
falling apart. Then you got the head coach, Nagy, or the previous head coach. He knows he's
Dumb.
coaching. He was coaching for his jobs, so that puts a stress on him. I mean, he's going to call plays a lot more differently. He's going to be aggressive in times when maybe he should be aggressive. So it was just, I would give this year, I wouldn't give it like a letter grade. I give it an incomplete. Like it's just hard to grade him.
Really, really good answer. And I told you I'm here in Kansas City, so everyone's pretty upset, as you can imagine. Um,
I was rooting. I'm a Mahomes. Like I'm a fan of Mahomes. I was rooting for him.
yeah, well, we appreciate it. Yeah, have the Bears hired a new coach yet?
Yeah, yeah. We hired some unknown. We hired a new
I haven't.
GM and we hired a new coach. He was like a assistant offensive coordinator from some team. I never heard of. No, I never. I wanted the guy from. I wanted either the offensive coordinator from you guys, Eric Bieniemy. I
The
wanted
enemy.
him
Yep.
or Leftwich off of the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I want
Absolutely.
I want a young because that's what everyone's doing. McVay, Shanahan, uh, Cliff Kingsbury. They're all young, innovative, offensive head coaches, and that's what I wanted. So didn't get that. I think this guy's gonna last 2 years and he'll be gone. This is this is why the Bears are the Bears. They make bad decisions at the top.
Man. Well, thank you for that answer, and good luck to your Bears. In the off season, next season,
Yeah,
all that good stuff.
we don't have a first round draft pick next year's draft. We don't have a first round draft pick. We gave
This
it up
draft sucks,
for
Curtis. This draft is bad. It's not. I wouldn't say it sucks, but it's not my favorite draft class. I'll just say that. It's all right. But Curtis, you got a birthday coming up, man. You're turning what 31 next month. What are you doing for your birthday? I mean, what are the plans? Any big ones? Just training? No
nah.
way. You gotta.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not really big into partying. I don't really like to. I probably just smoke. That's what I do for my birthday. I just smoke.
Okay. Relax, enjoy yourself. You earned it. I like that's a good
Yeah.
answer. You know, well, Curtis, I appreciate the time and thank you for giving me one of my first big interviews. I'm a big fan of yours, and now I just got three final questions. I call them the final three. They don't really have anything to do with MMA or anything like that. They're just kind of feelers. Get to know so
Yeah.
people can know you a little bit better. So we'll start off. I know you're an anime guy, and you can take this question either way you want. But what's the best anime out? And you can take that as right now, or you can take that as ever, because they're all out technically.
I mean, you can't do ever because there's so many different like genres of anime. Like I won't do ever. But right now, for me, Attack on Titan. That's my
Let's
favorite
go.
one right now. Yeah.
Let's go.
So
Did you watch the latest episode?
I haven't. I'm waiting for Hulu to get all the
Okay.
episodes. That way I can just boom, just knock them out. Because I hate
Oh,
having to wait week to week because I forget a lot of information happens in each episode.
well, it's already confusing as hell, Curtis. Like that show confuses
I
the hell
keep
out of me.
hearing.
But
I
it's
keep
really
hearing.
good. I like it. It's just confusing, and I've watched the whole show, and I don't know what's going on. But that's a good one. That's a good answer. It's one of mine that I like enjoy watching, and I'm actually gonna stick with it and not stop it halfway through. So that's that's good points for Attack on Titan. Great answer for yourself, Curtis. Now my second question: who has the best hair in the UFC? And I'll preface that by saying I would put you up there. I love the Versace design and the razor stripe on the other side. It looks super clean every single time. Makes you look like an absolute menace. But if you had to choose someone who had the best hairstyle in the UFC, who are you taking? There's like O'Malley. There's some.
Wow.
His hair's kind
Huh.
of dead though.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. I'm going through the weight classes.
I know it's a tough question.
Flyweight, weight, featherweight.
I'll try to give
God.
you some examples. I mean, there's O'Malley.
Oh
There's
no. I like the light heavyweight. Uh,
Prohaska.
Jerry Pazinski.
Jerry Pro.
Provaska.
Jiri
I
Prohaska.
like that. That's badass. I like that. If I could grow out a man bun, I would. 'Cause it looks awesome on him.
Yeah, me too. I like the like tape at the top. It's like,
Yeah.
his
It's like
his
a
girlfriend have
warrior.
on. Yeah. I mean, I think we took it different ways, but I like it too. I think Jerry's got great hair. And now I'll give you a proposition, Curtis. We've seen some fighters go with the bleach blonde hair, Phil Hawes and blonde Brunson. How about I propose blonde Blaydes? No, ever? No, not not even a little bit.
I mean, a few years ago, I was talking about it, but then my younger sister, she's really into hair and stuff, and I asked
Yeah,
her, I was like, "Would you be able to bleach just this?" And she was like, "Yeah, but it'll destroy your roots." And like she broke it down in a real like she gave me like the facts and the science behind why I should not do it. So that kind of scared me off. So I'm just not, I don't think I'm ever do it. Yeah, I thought about it though. It was all especially coming from the wrestling background. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember back in high school, that's what guys would do. Like the whole team would have that bleached blonde look, and I always wanted to do it, but I went to a private all boys school, and it didn't allow us to do that. So,
So nothing, no blonde Blaydes ever. Nothing.
nah, I think I might get rid of my beard one time, not for a fight, but just to scare my daughter, and I'll post the picture online. I'll let the internet destroy me.
Okay. That'd be funny. But that was my proposition for the hair. But it looks good anyways. Like I said, the Versace is good. And then Curtis, I got two more questions. But who's your favorite all-time athlete and why? And that could be any sport. That could be MMA. That could be, whatever you think. Do you have a favorite athlete? Is that an easy one to you, or is that a harder one?
My favorite all-time athlete is Ray Lewis. I've always been a fan
Thank you.
because the Ravens have always been the Bears are my favorite team, and they're in the NFC. So the Ravens have always been my AFC team. Like I'm almost as big of a fan of them as I am of the Bears, and that's because of Ray Lewis. And I know he has a bit of a past. I don't really want to get into all that, but on the field and the leader he is, the
Yep.
man he seems to be off his Instagram and off his Twitter, like he he seems to have it all together. He's a man of God, and I love his energy. Even at his older age, he still has that Ray Lewis energy. Like I feel like he could go put some pads on right now for one play and go out there and hit somebody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he could. Freaking Ray Lewis, man. That's a great answer. It's a good answer. I like it. You hear it, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Curtis, thank you. My final question, Curtis, don't get mad at me. This has been dubbed into the 2021 most important question last year. So I'll need you to raise your right hand if you're a butt guy, or raise your left hand if you're a boobs guy.
This is my right
Okay.
hand.
There you go. Everyone wanted to know it. I didn't want to ask it, but I mean, now we know that Curtis Blaydes is indeed a butt guy, and
Always have been.
that's just the kind of answers you get here on BZ Money. So, Curtis, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I look forward to your next fight against Cyril Gahn. I'll go ahead and say it. I think that's going to be one of the most exciting matchups in heavyweight of the entire year, and I can't wait to see what's next for you after that fight. Happy birthday in a month, and thanks for joining the show tonight. Anything else? Anything you want to say before we go?
No, thank you. I appreciate you bringing me on the show. I had a good time, and thank you. I appreciate the positive energy.
Yeah, no problem, Curtis. We'll see you next time, and we'll see you guys next week. Watch the show only on Fight Bananas. Peace out.